Goeiedag, good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world, and in a clear indication that the ANC government are totally Fruit Loop. Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, is going to call on his ancestral relations for an intervention to save South Africa. You know, this is the same government that is now under the National Health Insurance Scheme promising to allow witch doctors to practice on the same universal healthcare benefits so they can get income by practicing witchcraft, the Sangomas. And there's a very interesting statement in the Weekend Australian today, where Joe Biden, who is a Democrat, chastised the other two leading Democrat contenders for the presidency in 2020, when he said a universal health scheme in America would cost $30 trillion. And he said there's no way in the world that America can afford that. Now, America's got something like 250 million people. South Africa's got somewhere between 50 and 70 million people living there. Let's just say conservatively it is 50 million people, which is 1/5 of 250 million. Now, divide 30 million by 5 and you get $6 trillion to have an effective healthcare scheme in South Africa. If we're going by the same first-class medical situation, which is highly unlikely in South Africa based on the public health system. So, calling on the ancestors, let's hear more about this BS from this BS ANC government that is so corrupt. ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa yesterday described the governing party as having been down and out and requiring ancestral intervention. He was explaining the decision by the ANC's top 6 national officials in their first meeting to visit the graves of the party's former presidents and other key leaders. Speaking in a mixture of Xhosa, Zulu and English and meeting Amarabi, Queen Nyolayosi Sandile at the Mgwesha Great Place in King Williamstown in the Eastern Cape, Ramaphosa said the party's officials did what Africans do in the face of misfortune. We go back to our ancestors to talk to them, he said. Well, I have a very, very simple solution for you, Hippo Eyes Ramaphosa. So simple, but it defies logic. That's the problem. The L factor. It's totally gone missing in action. Now, what is the solution? Get rid of all these racist policies that the ANC have, like BEE, like triple BEE, where you put in someone who's totally incompetent, who's on the take to run a company or a state-owned enterprise or in a position in a ministry of power where they can actually control finances. That's where your problem is. You've got incompetent people who are incapable of doing the job because of your racist BEE and triple BEE policies, affirmative action, amongst so many other things that you're doing to try and screw down the minority population. And actually what you're doing is you're screwing down and screwing yourselves. But of course, I'm not going to use the D word, but that's what it's all about. You really have no concept or understanding of what you're actually doing to your own people by your own actions, the ANC's own actions. And that's called dumb. Let's continue with the article. Yesterday, the party's top brass also paid their respects at the grave of another founding ANC leader, Walter Benson Rubusana in East London. Ramaphosa said, "We visit Rubusana's grave to ask for a way forward." Do you understand how hopeless these guys are now? They've completely lost it. If they went to some academics, and they'd probably mainly be white people who could give them direction, they might actually have a chance of doing something. But no, colour of the skin is a problem. Colour of the skin's a problem. So the country's just going to keep going to the dogs, despite talking to the ancestors. Ramaphosa said ANC leaders wanted the values and principles that guided the party's founders in establishing and growing Africa's oldest liberation movement to be among them. Tomorrow, Ramaphosa and other ANC leaders are scheduled to visit Nelson Mandela's grave in Kunu to draw wisdom. Crazy. Ramaphosa to put the ANC right and for it to be Mandela's ANC that worked for all South Africans. Earlier yesterday, while speaking at Nkwadu Great Place in Willowvale, where he visited Xhosa King Zwelonke Sekau, Ramaphosa said he would ensure that the party was unified under his leadership. Yeah, good luck with that, with Ace Magashula and Jacob Zuma. You know, he makes so many claims and promises, and he knows that he can't keep them. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. He said, the NEC must also be unified. I told them as the president that there is no one who will depart and say something else that is against the ANC. We have entered a new phase as the ANC. We have entered a phase of unity, a phase of renewal, and a phase of rebuilding the ANC. Now, how many times have we heard about, we're going to turn this business around, or we're going to turn the state-owned enterprise around, and blow me down, a year later, it's 100 billion rand more in debt. And that's a great turnaround strategy, isn't it? Same old problem. Wrong people in the top jobs, but of course, this fact is missing in action. Before his election, Ramaphosa used his presidential campaign to tear into the Gupta family, which is allegedly using its proximity to Zuma to influence cabinet appointments and state procurements. Yesterday, he said the ANC must be renewed so that it did not serve narrow interests anymore. Good luck with that. You got your cadres everywhere. You know, nothing's going to change. These are weasel words by a weasel president. Anyway, he went on to say, we are doing this so that the ANC becomes an ANC that will work for the whole of society. They've had 25 years to do that, and they haven't got it right yet, and it's just getting worse and more entrenched. More weasel words. He's very good at that, actually, you've got to admit. He went on to say, we do not want it to be the ANC that works for certain individuals or certain families. Well, you've done it for 25 years, Cyril. That's what the ANC is all about. And you've been one of the major benefactors. It's called black privilege, isn't it? I'm so surprised the media haven't picked up on that word yet, or that phrase yet. And finally, he went to say, all the bad things we were complaining about, all the bad things that were happening in the past, we want to put them behind us and move forward. Yeah. Look, I'm willing to put $1 million on a bet that in a year's time, South Africa is going to be so way down the drain from today. And everything that Ramaphosa said here, including talking to the ancestors for advice, is a load of BS. All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video and have a safe day. Bye for now.